Hey guys, thanks for checking out my latest video. I'm going to do a quick one here. On the Week 5 NFL main slate that just ended, an hour ago, I had another nice tourney hit, not having to wait around for Monday on this one. But I'll show that to you here in a second. First, I want to show you what won the DraftKings Reignmakers main contests that are over now. Not the deep roster, but the regular lineup, five-man lineups. So the core came in at 158.5 points for $5,000. They had the Allen Diggs, Gabe Davis stack, Allen Superstar with Breece Hall and Mike Williams. 24,000 people in that. The rare fiat was 2 points lower, 156, paid 10K. Allen, Chubb, Diggs, Davis, and Williams. So that's what I would call a chalk lineup in terms of being like heavy on big names that are expensive. And if you're going to have an Allen in your lineup, which you actually did to win, you needed that to win this week, and regular DFS as well, basically. The issue was that he's a superstar, so you had to have the level rarity that he's on, and he's very costly. And this one actually used a Diggs core in it. Now, this is where it starts getting a little wild because the Elite Fiat, the big $100,000 contest, had a 177-point score, so almost 20 points above a contest with 10 times more people. But he actually had the Taysom Hill in there, and that won it. That pushed his total way up. So he had Allen, Davis, Fournette, Lockett, and Taysom Hill, and the Fournette was his rare, and that's a superstar. I had a Taysom Hill rare that I sold, and I had a Taysom Hill core that I threw in a garbage lineup. So I actually didn't do that good on Rainmakers this week, but I'll show you what I did hit. Here, 1 second. On the legendary, came in at 164, basically, again above. So a little different than the trend we've seen of them getting lower. This one hit pretty high as well with a sort of what I would call chalky, because they had Allen, Diggs. Davis isn't really chalk, but it's the Buffalo stack, Fournette and Williams. So they had a Davis and an Allen legendary. And then on the alpha, it was 150, so that was the lowest for $20,000. They have an Allen Rainmaker, which is an extremely valuable card, probably one of the most valuable in the game, I imagine, and a Davis Rainmaker, and then a Fournette, Diggs, and Tyreek Hill came in. So an odd one there, but Fournette was the best running back, and the Buffalo stack came in, as you can see on all these. Whether it was the 2 or the 3, because Gabe Davis actually outperformed Diggs. So what I hit, I took a nap in the second half of the Dallas game. I was tired, and I was in like 25th in a contest, a regular DFS contest, and I'm like, I had 3 players going, but I'm like, I'm not going to catch up. And I woke up, I ended up second on this. I don't know if it's too small to see, but I hit second in the a $5 single entry on DraftKings, won 2,000. I had Wilson going, Goddard, and Cowboys defense, and that somehow pushed me up enough where I got second. And now this was a lineup. I had the Allen Shakir stack, and remember I had mentioned Shakir was one of the ones that one of the sleeper real cheapies that this site I've been using had highlighted early on. They had Allen way above everybody. In my last video, I mentioned that they had Allen and Fournette as the highest leverage plays on the main slate on DraftKings, meaning they had them really high, but not enough. Even though a lot of people owned them, not as many as in their optimal lineups. And you can see this was not a super wild lineup. I mean, the pretty high percentages. I was surprised the Dallas D was 30% and Shakir was 8%. I'm not sure how many of these premium fantasy sites have similar last minute projection type things, but like the bunch of people tied for number 7, and they had a very similar lineup to mine, except they had Higbee and Godwin, and somehow Hill and Goddard outscored them. I mean, if you think about it, I probably would have liked having Godwin and Higbee better, but one thing I don't like to do is put a player who's on the opposite team of the defense I have. So this wasn't one of their optimal lineups they suggested to me, but it was close to that because they had Wilson, Fournette, and Breece Hall as the top 3 running backs to own, basically. They had Allen as the top quarterback. So then I like the Shakir with him as a low price one that I didn't think many people would have. And I liked Lockett. They had Lockett pretty high. They had Tyreek Hill really high. The Bridgewater obviously messed that up. That's another reason I didn't think I was going to win, because he had 13 points. Usually you need all the guys to have 20 or 30 to win. I don't think that's a super duper high total. But basically this week I believe you needed Allen and Fournette. I believe they pointed out above everybody. And then you need like the Cowboys D or the Pats D or maybe one other one. So that was an awesome surprise to wake up from a nap and be like, I was in 25th, winning like maybe 100. And I had 3 players going, but none of them had really done that much by halftime, except for the Dallas D. But just that 17 and that 23 were enough somehow. And like I said, the difference between me, there were a bunch of people tied at 7 who did get an optimized lineup, obviously, and just copy pasted it basically. And the difference was they had Higbee here and Godwin here. So they had 2 Tampa Bay going also. But mine only had the Buffalo, and then in the same game it had Tyreek and Breece Hall. This site was all over Breece Hall all week. I think I mentioned that in some of the videos. I never told you specifically the numbers they were projecting, but I did say they had Fournette as the highest. I mentioned Allen. I mentioned they liked Wilson. They liked Hall and Shakir. And Lockett has been good. Both the Seattle has been good all year. Anyway, so that was a little different than last week, where I was fairly certain I was going to win a DraftKings Rainmaker contest. And then people came out of nowhere with big Sunday night, Monday night performances and caught me, and I got third. So I won 500 in that instead of 1,000 or 2,000. But here I ended up with 2,000 because this was a single entry too, and a $5 one. So that's nice. Obviously with those, that's it. You get one shot and that's it, like Eminem said. So thanks for checking out my video. I'll be doing more on the DraftKings results from this week, the Rainmakers. I didn't have a very good, or I haven't had a very good week in Rainmakers. I just didn't really have the right combinations and don't really have enough of the good quarterbacks, I think. But I just didn't have them combined right. So I don't think I'm going to break 100. I don't think I broke 100 in any of my individual lineups. My deep rosters are doing a little better, and I get a little bit back from showdowns, but it's going to be one of my lower cashing weeks, I believe, probably under $50, $30 maybe, and some cards. But that DFS hit makes up for it. So please like, subscribe, and comment, and good luck with your Rainmakers, DFS, and fantasy football. All right, guys, have a good one.